Welcome back to the garden, everyone. It is now June and the sky is gorgeous. It's been a couple of weeks since my last video. Last time I started doing another video, then we had all of that hot weather where it was too hot to do anything, and then we've had too much rain for 2 weeks where I'm having to dodge the showers every 5 minutes. So work has been slow. My work has been very busy, but work in the garden has been very slow. But at the moment the weather is looking glorious. Not so much for the next couple of days where it looks like I'm going to be very wet again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a quick tour around the garden and show you what I've been getting up to, because a lot's happened. But first of all, we're going to jump back a few weeks before the wet and the hot weather came to go through the greenhouse. Okay guys, so the first thing on the list today is to get this greenhouse ready, because it's already mid-May now and I've got I think about 10 trays of plants that need to go in here for the season. So let's get this thing cleaned up. Okay, so update number one is that most of the extra pots that were all down here are now either over here or out in the garden, as you will see shortly. But this is almost ready for me to start doing work on the first project for the year, which was the barley walkway, which is going to run down the length here. So that's a upcoming video, but at the moment I'm working on clearing out all of the joints, and then I'll be lifting up some of the loose slabs and relaying them. But the rest of the garden, the patio here, is looking very full, obviously with all the extra plants. But we've got lots of nemesias. These are Wisley Vanilla and they smell absolutely fantastic of vanilla, one of the best smelling nemesias. Then this little lantana has done really well, been flowering for a couple of weeks. Everything else, even my wife's little yellow roses, are coming out nicely. Still need to pot up the Cleopatra, which is looking pretty good at the moment. The Eucomis, Polavancii are all coming through. I popped to my local hosta specialist about 2 weeks ago now and picked up some more hostas to go along the edge here. But apart from this tatty leaf, we've got a flower coming out on this one, looking really good. The Roscoias have all started to shoot nicely. These have got to go out in the garden still, and I was at a local tropical specialist and they had this little Cyathea, so probably more than watered enough now. Pitcher plant is doing nicely. I need to actually pot that up, but I need some proper decent soil for it, not just any old stuff. The cycad is being very reluctant and not wanting to put out a new flush. It's been like that for a while now, and even with all this rain and the warm weather, seems to be slow to push out the new leaves. this main bed, as you will see, is looking a fair bit different now. So this used to have Euchrogloriosas in here, the variegated variety, and they were in fact very much rotting at the bottom of the stems, so they've all been taken out. They are in the greenhouse currently, drying off so that the stems are all calloused over, and I'm hoping I can get them to root, and then they'll go into some sharp drainage pots for the rest of this year. But the Canna Tanny is coming through, the runner beans are coming up, got a few heucheras down the front here, obviously lots and lots of space still to go in here, but there's still plants to go in the ground, so there's space at the moment, but probably won't be for too much longer. And we'll go around this way. And the Canna Musifolia, as you can see, that back tub is really full, and this one not so much. So I'm not too sure why this one didn't do as well over winter as the other one, but I think I should be okay with dividing the other rhizome even now, to be fair, which might be a job I do in the next few days, and just transplant it down here so we get a bit more of a fuller pot. The fig is littered in decent sized fruits, so these should hopefully ripen up over the next month or two. And I know there's a decent one on here as well, and all up here. So hopefully we should have a very good harvest of figs this year, if we don't get too many more high winds knocking some of them off. And I've moved my Impatiens that was just around the other side of this fig down to here. There wasn't much left of it, I'll be honest, so this is more of a, we'll see if it actually picks up over here. I think the problem is down here it's just too dry and shady, so this needs something else that's going to survive in this spot down here. But I've got hostas there which have done fine, so it might just be that I need another hosta to go in there. The Fatsia has picked up again. Always looks sad at the beginning of the year, but it's got lots of nice new growth on it. Obviously enjoying the cooler, wetter weather. The bamboo is got lots of new shoots on. Everything in my order down here is still doing okay. The Coniogramma has just been dying off more and more, but there is some new shoots, so hopefully that will bounce back. These are all up here doing okay. This one's not so good, but this one's good. The Trichtis is doing good. These all need to go out there a bit dry because they're under the shelter of this. More runner beans. I managed to keep on the spotty dotty that needs to go out in the ground still, as does everything else here. Oh, this is actually new for me. This is the first time I've had this come up. Consanguinium Arasemum. So that's actually really quite nice. I like that one a lot. So that will be finding a place to go. But everything else in here is doing fine. I need to obviously get the Insetti in the ground. I need to find space for this Brugmansia. This is probably going to just go in a big pot. This has been a little highlight from my Farmer Gracie order. This is a really pretty little dainty flower. This is Spigelia Little Red Head. Yeah, Little Red Head. And apart from whatever this black damage was to these, which I think might have been a little bit of a late frost, it is still flowering and looking really good. So really happy with that one. What I'm also happy with is the Unigumata is on to another new leaf, or frond I should say, We've got 4 already, and I can see some more down here coming through. So that's enjoying life down there, which is really good because I want this to fill this space out, and I'm debating whether to turn all of that area in front of the Musa Basjoo into just a massive Basjoo clump and then thin it out so there's a bit more space than there is there, where there's about 12 or 14 in about a ½ metre square space. The Gunnera is still growing away slowly, as it doesn't get as much sun as I would like it to back there, and I'm debating whether still need to remove this black bamboo, but if I come around the front of it, I'm still debating whether the black bamboo gets removed and the Gunnera gets moved into that spot there. Obviously where the Gunnera is, did dig a hole and put pond liner and lots of rotted manure, or maybe with that black bamboo gone and obviously the conifer above it really hard cut back to the trunk again, it will get more light and it will be able to grow a bit better. Obviously the thistles have still got to come out because it's certainly the biggest it's ever got to, but it's also really not that big for a Gunnera that's had copious amounts of food and plenty of water. The pond is in a bit of a sorry state at the moment. It's not looking too bad at the moment because we've had lots of rain and that's kept it topped up, but it is drying out and dropping quite regularly, so I think I definitely need to get around to looking at the pond at some point, but that is definitely not until autumn this year. I still need to get in and clear out all of the brambles that seem to have taken over there though. And then turning around, this bed over here is coming along slowly, so I've got the Brugmansia in here now. The black Sambucus, the black elders, are looking absolutely gorgeous this year, and I'll give this that really gorgeous elder smell. Picked up some more of this Vigilius, so this is coming along nicely. The Canna is, I think, Eric Nubert, that's coming along nicely. The Alströmerias are doing well. Daylilies that I planted in are all coming through quite well. I don't know whether that's maybe a bit of rabbit damage. Maybe. Managed to keep on top of most of the rabbits at the moment. And this side is also looking very good. Still got the netting here just to make sure the rabbits don't do too much while stuff is coming through. But obviously the Alströmerias are looking great. Moved this Formium and gave this Choicea a big cut back because it was just getting overshadowed too much in there. So that will eventually fill this main space. But everything's tied together nicely with the oranges and the kind of dusky pinks and reds. This end is still a wild, overgrown mess, so we'll skip right past that. This is out in flower again this year. I presume this is because it's getting a lot more sun than my main standard Formium, because that's now got 4 flower spikes and then the ones from last year. The dahlias are all coming through nicely, enjoying this extra bit of rain. What's not enjoyed life so much is this. It's got some new shoots coming through, but it's really struggled, which is weird because it's been in the greenhouse, nice and warm, watering on and off, but the other one is doing significantly better. If I show that in there. So potatoes are all coming to an end now, the new potatoes. We've already harvested 1 tub and had a couple of portions worth per tub, which is nice to see. Then in here this is Mashua. So this is a tuber that you can use as a food source, much like the old Colocaceas, but it's got a really interesting leaf, and these should grow reasonably big. So hopefully they're going to like their spot in here, a bit of sheltered from the hot sun. And the eucalyptus is really bushing out with all of the shoots there now. Then we'll do an update on the greenhouse, because obviously I gave it a good clean just in time for the heat wave to hit and all of the sun to absolutely bake it. But we've got our cucumbers in here, and I forget which one it is. One of them, that one was damaged when we first put it in. Yeah, got our first little baby cucumbers coming on. How is this for soil? Not too bad, not too dry. So as you can see, this is my multi-headed one which flowered, I think it was last year, and that's all pretty solid. So that was the only one that was actually still any good. That's solid all the way through, whereas these were really quite rotten in places. And then these are some of the roots which, as you can see, have got shoots on. So these are probably going to go into a pot. They probably need to go in soon because they are drying out. But I wanted to get these cuts and stuff to callus over. So they're going to have to go into some free draining mixtures soon. So we've got some of the seedlings that were inside out here now. So these need a good water soon. But we've got Coreopsis, Brisias. These are some millets, some pearl millets, and 3-bird toadflax, I think. And then we've got all of our pumpkins and squashes up here, courgettes and things. All the little bits that basically need to go out soon. And then some zinnias, so these are probably going to get watered today, I think. So that is literally what's in the greenhouse at the moment. And hopefully that will all be put out soon enough. And then this bottom end is starting to come along reasonably well now. So I've got some of my Empatians down out here. We've got some more of the ferns, which are Polysticum netum, something like that. Forget now. And this Roscoea is, if I can show you down there, just starting to come through. So this is, the end of the first week of June, so it's really quite late coming out. But the poppies are looking nice. I'll make sure that they get dead-headed once they finish flowering so they don't self-seed everywhere. And it's starting to rain again. Lovely. But what has enjoyed the rain has been the clematis and the honeysuckle down here. So the honeysuckle's in full bloom, enjoyed by the bees. And the clematis is obviously all finished flowering now. And I planted out about 60 cosmos down here because I didn't have anywhere else to put them in the end, so they just went down here with my wife's bits, and looks like they're all still there, which is good news because the rabbits would have eaten them if they were still coming in. But this is still in flower, which is lovely to smell. The shrub that was here has definitely died back, even though I can't pull it out. This has definitely had something go wrong. I think it just got overly wet in winter. Okay, and the last little bit is this oval bed this side. We've got the Brugmansia in here with some of the nasturtiums, and the Tetrapanax is starting to get above head height. It's kind of at face height at the moment, so another month or so these lower leaves can be snipped off and then we can walk underneath. But these leaves are really big. That's probably 1 metre wide now, and then turn around, and this bed has got a couple of new bits in, so the nasturtiums obviously, but then I've decided that I wanted to get some ground cover in a few places, and I picked up some Majuga. So this is here, and then also over by the pond. So I'm hoping that's going to creep through the entire bed and fill it so that we don't get any weeds come through. Theoretically, hopefully that's what happens. And a new clematis that my wife picked up has actually done really quite well. And over here we have another Roscoea popping through, and the Begonia torsa. One of the pots did not make it, it did indeed rot off. The other one, which I thought was okay, has really struggled, but I put it out and that is the first leaf coming through. So I think much like the Roscoea at the other end of the garden, it is just a really late shower. And that is the end of the tour today, guys. Not lots to see because obviously we're still in early June and some of the plants are literally barely poking their heads above the soil. But we've got warm temperatures and lots of rain at the moment, and in about 3 or 4 days time at the weekend, if you can believe it, we're actually got really nice temperatures, kind of mid-20s and bright sunshine. So as long as I provide some watering and some feed over the next couple of weeks, we should really see everything kind of shoot up and really put some growth on, which will make the next tour a lot more interesting. But obviously there's also the ongoing projects, and that will be what's the next video we'll be covering.